Hello everyone, this is Bigalski, and this is Chapter 7 of my Ninja Gaiden Sigma Master Ninja Full Equipment and Weapon Upgrade run. Now, one thing that I did in this that I wanted to talk from the very beginning is you can go and upgrade your Dabi after like the first couple fights, but the one thing you want to do is when you go get it, don't break that breakable wall to go through it. And that comes back to hurt me in the next chapter, and I'll explain in more detail once I get to the next chapter, but it basically makes a fight not happen. So here, just the time limit is a little short, and again, a lot of it depends on spawn patterns. You want to at least have 2 kills going at the same time to, keep that chain going, but it really all depends on where they spawn. So it can be tough to make. Now there's so much time in this chapter. Take the time and go and save, and even if you had 2 essences there, go and save, put on the Holy Gauntlet to get the extra money out. You're gonna have plenty of time to do all that. So here, going to the next fight, chain the essence with the bats like always. There's a couple ways you could do this fight. This is kind of the easiest one right here, the Nimpo ET-UT strat. Now the one thing about that though is, it does cost you a Nimpo. So, finding that balance, because, you're always going to have to be replacing that Nimpo. Again, that's the reason why you want to, as much as possible, remember to have the Holy Gauntlet on. And I'd actually forgotten to change back to the correct helmet there. But, you could see it did plenty of damage, even without the Azure helmet on. So this time limit is ridiculously short for this, so you want to speed kill him like normal, get the UT at the end to get the essence. I like to pick up that Scarab first before he does any of this, but here ET, and if your timing's right, you can do the double connecting ET right here, and that will kill him if you're working on a speed run or something like that. But you want to position yourself where that Scarab is so he'll come down next to you, because if you're standing in the middle, he won't, and he'll just fall off. So I think I'll leave it here. I think it's worth, normally it's worth 35,000 essence normally when killed with the UT, but again, 40% more with the Dragon Gauntlet, so make sure you collect that UT essence with the Holy Gauntlet. Yeah, you can see it really increases with that Holy Gauntlet on. So this is where I went back to go get the Dabi. Make sure all the bats are killed. And there's a way you can get another ET out of the fight if your timing's good with the bats, but I just like doing this right here. I like to spend as much money as I can. Like I said, I'm upgrading all the weapons. I want to get the UF as fast as I possibly can, but I like also having the Nimpo. I'm not picking up the Life of the Gods. But like I said, when you go back and get the Dabi, don't break that wall. So this fight can be a little tricky depending on the spawn patterns. I think me killing 2 and then getting a blue helps with everything. I think I kind of mess up coming up here though. Yeah, I think I wanted to switch over to my Dragon Sword so I didn't kill everybody out, because there were some times where I would kill them too fast with the Lunar, it would just connect. But again, it all depends on the spawning. But then again, there was times where I didn't kill anybody, or get them anywhere close enough with the Lunar to kill them. So again, you kind of have to play with this a little bit. Now keep him on screen when you jump away, because if you actually turn him off screen, he will kind of teleport, and you don't know where that's going to be. So keeping him off screen with him, you know, close to where he's going to have to move towards you, that's kind of what you want to do with all these monks right here. So if you're going to do this with the Dobby, I mean, you could continue chaining it with the Lunar, but you're going to kill a lot more. Make sure, you know, I take that extra roll back at the beginning, because if you stay too close, you could kill all 4. And you definitely don't want to do that. So here, I'll admit I get a little lucky. I'm surprised the cat didn't flying swallow at me. They usually do, but that's the reason I was a little careful before I did my on-landing. Because if they did, I could still jump away and probably get the UT with the Dobby. So I go and pick up everything here and save. Go down and save. You know, maybe buy some Nympho, or you know, just something that I might need. I might not have done it. I didn't do it right here. But you have a chance to get an ET off. Again, this is another one of those struggles trying to get a decent score. And one thing you want to do after you hear the guys dissolve, or as they're dissolving, make sure they fully dissolve, because you won't have time to completely charge if you know, when you do your on landing, the essence is not right there. Again, a little lucky. But again, there's nothing wrong. As much as this game likes to cheat you a little bit, see how it stays just in front of him so he has to come towards me. Now, I'm pretty sure I probably could have refought this a couple more times and tried to get another UT, but again, you know, it's a little crazy. I've had it where the cats jumped over my Lunar UT, or you know, the Dobby killed 4 guys or something like that. So it's a tough fight to play for Karma. So again, I'm just happy with it. This is another one of those kind of crazy fights that worked out very well. I know some people have had to use a lot of Nympho. Again, I got see because I sat there and charged, and without knowing where he was, that's what happens. But I'm still kind of, well, messing up, of course. But here, again, I just kind of went kamikaze here and got very lucky to make it. But yeah, don't commit yourself to doing your UT until you know where the monks are. And then, of course, like I said, I panicked, instead of an on landing, did like a forward Y type thing. So it's a little frustrating sometimes, you know, to do these. So here for the archive challenge, you want to, you know, try to kill at least 2 or 3 at a time. And again, this whole beginning part isn't that great until there. And then, okay, it's like, well, wow, I killed 6, I have a chance to charge, I still got some essence out. You know, keeping it staggered right here. And staying down on one side or the other, you really have a good chance of killing all, at least 2, maybe 3. See, like right there. And then so staying on one side or the other. But again, it could always be a little bit better positioning. Making the time limit, it is pretty rough, knowing how to keep your Nympho going. I could have used some of that money that I had to buy like a great devil elixir, but I didn't want to spend that kind of money for just 2 extra Nympho spots. So I kind of had to do what I had to do. I think I could have maybe even used a rebirth or something if I wanted the extra slots, but again, that's still, you know, wasting a lot of money. But yeah, as soon as you land, you have a chance to start charging, get at least an ET charged and then the UT. There's something, that's where I think, yeah, things kind of messed up right there. If I was able to jump straight up instead of went sideways, you know, maybe I could have continued it. But see, I'm only at 44 kills now, and I'm completely out of Nympho. So this is where it can get a little tricky. See, like right here, if I could keep that going, but this is where you kind of waste some of that time. And I got lucky that that cat landed right in my UT. Again, a little lucky right there. Again, one of the challenges that I like I said earlier in the run, that I like trying to get all 50 UTs in these fights. Now, they're way more, or I guess how the enemies come out, I don't know how many cats there are and how many red ninjas there are, but you always end up with a lot more red ninjas at the end. I guess it's always like 2 cats and 1 red ninja. You don't ever really see 2 red ninjas and 1 cat. And so that means at the very end, you're gonna have a lot of red ninjas to kill individually. But that's the great thing about the Dabi. So I'm still a little, yeah, see, not being able to keep that chain going. And be careful, that's where I have walked out before, even on this one, like I was going to drop a smoke bomb and walked out the door. So I think from here on out, it's just red ninjas. And I know some of the guys go up the stairs, and I still have quite a few UTs to do left, so. But I found that just staying right where you are and not moving after your UT, you have time to charge the ET, and then the UT's ready when the guy comes down. See, like right there. Be careful not to release too early when you see him come down, because sometimes Ryu will whiff. Now, when I watched Tommy's video on this, he actually, once he got all of his UTs, he switched over to the Dragon Sword and did like ETs. And if he didn't kill somebody, he would use the Windmill Shuriken to fill him off, or to finish him off. And so I kind of did a little comparison. And once we got to 100 kills, he actually did it, I think, 10 seconds faster than what I did. So maybe the ET method is the way to go. But in terms of the speed, it really all depends on those middle fights. If you can keep those essence chains going, and just, you know, constantly UTing, and but it's not as easy as it may look. And then, like I said, I tried this, you know, one time with the Armlet of the Sun. I tried it with the Armlet of the Moon, and it really comes down just to the pattern of what pattern that you're going to get. And how I've had cats, you know, get stuck up top on the stairs, you know, that just mess you up. But yeah, I tried this, I think the first time, before I really understood my positioning and what to do. You know, I was just trying to UT to get my UTs out of the way instead of waiting a split second to try to kill 2 or more enemies. The Nympho can go pretty fast, so you got to kind of watch that too. I will say I did okay in terms of health supplies, but you know, I've had it to where I've just, you know, 20 seconds short. So keeping your cool down in the middle, trying to get those UTs as fast as you can. Like I said, I was able to avoid the stairs. You know, those guys got on the stairs and let them come to them. So all in all, though, it was a lot of fun. Now, if I didn't have equipment, you know, there's no way I'm going to make the time limit. But I used the wisps to get all my Nympho back. And I jumped right there and turned the camera because sometimes I would knock them off the ledge so you don't get the essence right there. But use the wisps to refill your Nympho, and if you don't get them, or you don't get your Nympho fill, then just restart. You know, right there before you do the Indiana Jones run. And look how fast I got that's the good thing about him falling off. So again, I go up to save. Now this is something that if you let the animation play through, you only get 8 wasps. And I decided to, or excuse me, if you don't let the animation play through, you only get 8 wasps. And in the original Ninja Gaiden Sigma, if you let the animation play through, this fight wasn't timed. So I just thought to myself, I said, hey, I wonder what happens if I let the animation go all the way through. Would it not be a timed fight like it was in the original NGS on the PlayStation? And the answer is no. I end up getting 15 wasps. So I get this pattern shows how to get the extra wasps out of this fight. Whereas like Tommy and some of the other guys in their runs, they didn't know about this trick. So I am able to get a few more points here because of that. But again, because I broke the wall to go get the Dobby and I lose out on that. I lose out on a fight in Chapter 8. So here, make sure that you hear the sound of the wisp before you drop down, because if you jump straight down, the enemies will spawn. But this way is a lot better, because if the wisps come down and you drop down, you have to wait for them to come down before you can start this fight. So, you know, just dropping all the way down, going in there to get those wisps to chain to this fight. Now, I will say, this was a tough fight, a tough time limit to make. I think Tommy didn't have to use any Nympho. But these chains are brutal, man. I mean, they'll get stuck behind those, and you know, you won't be able to do anything. It did take me a couple times to make this time limit, and you know, one time I used all 3 Nymphos, one time I only used 1. But this is the one where I didn't have to worry about them getting caught on chains. Let them kind of come to you. That's the reason I want to stay back just a little bit. But I actually go up and save. Again, you have plenty of time. See, that was one of the things that I wanted to do before I came down here, was refill my Nympho. I ended up going and spending a little money and getting everything before I went, or actually I went and did that before I went up and saved. And then once I got all my Nympho back, I did save. But here, if you can kind of stagger these guys, that's the reason I counterattacked like the 3rd guy and this guy. That way you always kind of have an essence out if you need it. And I don't know what I was doing here. I think I forgot that I had the other essence out over there. And then I was going to drop a smoke bomb and then forgot I had my windmill shuriken equipped. But it all worked out at the end of the day. But yeah, keeping track of that essence on the enemies that you've killed is very key. This fight can be a little tricky. You know, I've hit the wall there. I think, you know, getting an ET there when you want a UT, this could be a hard fight and you kill way more than you want to. So it's, I was happy with this at the end of the day. But yeah, I know it could definitely be at least a full UT better, maybe an ET and UT. So one of the challenges that I have on this is to try to maximize the scores that I can. See, I have on the Holy Gauntlet, I have on the Armlet of the Moon, but is to see if I can, you know, maximize my score based on the limitations of what I have. So staying over in this corner right here allows them to kind of come one by one around the corner, because you could just stand out there in the middle and blast all of them. Usually the lighter zombies will take 1 UT to kill, and the darker zombies will take 2 UTs to kill. But see how this guy got stuck and I got a little impatient. But see, that took him 2 UTs. But if I go out, you know, I take a chance on damaging a lot more. So that's the reason I don't mind waiting a little bit extra. But see how the other guy snuck around the corner. But you can see a little bit of the problem with this. So again, finding that balance is something that if you're trying to play this for score. Again, it really is kind of challenging. Now, of course, if I had the other helmets on and, you know, was doing less damage, I could, or the level 1 lunar, you know, I could stand out in the middle and maybe not waste as much time. And see, now that they're in the open, I try to come out and get a couple single hit UTs. But you're really going to have to take another step back than what you normally used to. But see, that extra roll jump back cost me my ability to fully charge. You know, I didn't have my ET charged before the yellow essence came to me. So because I didn't do that, it was like that first, you know, time it took to charge the ET was nullified by me absorbing. See, here's another case of it right there. See, if I jump on landing charge, and if I had killed him, I would have been able to do the full UT. So again, it's, say I didn't jump away, I was able to charge, and I think I wanted to just do the ET right there. But finding that space and distance for what you need, especially at level 2 and without the helmets that decrease the damage output for Ryu, that's a little tricky. But I think I kind of just stay back here for a little bit. These red dragons are a joke. They really are. They don't attack you at all. Watch your kill counter just in case you kill some wisps. And again, I don't look out over the screen, and sometimes that will, you know, the zombie, it seems like if you're not looking at them, their aim is a little worse. That's not always the case. But I think on some of the other runs that the guys have done with equipment, you know, it kind of, where they've had to use Nimpo because they're not doing that much damage, whereas I can stay consistent throughout all of this. You know, I don't have to, you know, change helmets. I don't have to Nimpo anybody. Again, keep track of your UTs. Know the enemy count. But the bad part about some of this, especially in some of the later chapters, or even this right here, because now all I have is brown zombies, I'm not getting that stagger of essence for the most part like I was. So I mean, right here I have that stagger. You know, kill the enemy, charge, but now that I jump away, I might have damaged the brown guy right here, I think. Okay, so I was able to get those. But see, oh, okay, that's good. I forget, it's been a while since I've put these together. But I think I have 31 enemies here. And now's where... Yeah, I never saw... Oh, and this is me trying to get to the thing to stop the timer. And I'm glad I didn't have to, because I messed it all up. But still, I was pretty happy with that. Considering I have to change helmets or change over to the Azura helmet to get more damage. You know, things like that. But again, the darker ninjas are going to, or ninjas, the darker zombies are going to take more damage. So I must have already damaged them a little bit earlier. But you know, some of that extra movement whenever the cutscene happens. I think here it doesn't kill him because he's in the animation of getting up, so use that to your advantage. And one reason I don't start the elevator, because like usually you would start it now and then, you know, let it go up to the top to where you can, you know, come back down and save. But one reason I don't is just with it going up and me charging and it spinning and it kind of gets me messed up on my camera angle, I just leave it right there. Plus, for some reason, and again, I don't understand why it did this. It only happened to me a couple times that I noticed. But my UT would target the elevator once it got back, or the switch once it got back up to the top. So at least this way it wasn't doing that because I was stuck in between floors. Again, I could be wrong on that, but it's just something that I noticed. But see, because I had to roll away instead of jump away, I had to wait a few seconds for the full UT to charge. And I don't know if it matters how you kill them. You know, that they stagger light, dark, but you see how long I had to wait for that last zombie to drop down. So I think that's a factor in the next fight. But here I have to go back up to go back down to save, but I have plenty of time. You know, this gauntlet in Ninja Gaiden Black is so brutal, just so brutal, because you don't have the save statue there, or the Miramasa statue. So that's, you know, one of the good things about this. But yeah, I couldn't imagine this gauntlet after doing it in Black. That's one of the worst things you could do. Or the worst gauntlets. So here, I just kind of stay here. Again, maybe out of the reach of the art, or the, you know, the zombie guy. Not look at him. But see, again, I want to, if possible, separate them so I don't damage the other one. Like if I had positioned a little bit better, I might not have damaged the other lighter zombie and then got another UT out of it. So again, all that stuff comes into play. And again, see, there I am focusing on the darker guy. The lighter guy comes up by me. And then I end up killing him. I think I end up killing him here. So see, now I have more darker zombies that have to come out. So now I have to wait for them. And again, be careful on your positioning. The last thing you want to do is get stuck on, or a UT blocked because of the chain. That really just sucks. But again, notice how long I have to wait. So even though this looks really good in a sense, I think it cost me, you know, at least 2 UTs. Overall. that's something else to keep in mind. But that's so strong to keep in mind all of that stuff. I think I go and, you know, I bought a lot of stuff already. Then I'm going to go down and save again. Well, I tell you what, this gauntlet is ruined in Ninja Gaiden Black. You get shot down. But at least you have the Dobby to charge right here. And that way you can get a UT on the first guy. Kind of roll, don't roll, you know, backwards a little bit. You got to kind of roll forward at an angle. And then that way you can get individual UTs on these guys right here. And I'm not sure why I'm changing weapons. I think I do it here to stun him right there. I didn't mean to do the extra hit. That would have really sucked if that had killed him. But I do still have the Holy Gauntlet on and the Moon on, I believe. So this right here might be my best fight ever. Everything just flowed so perfectly. And the wasp, once you kill them, you have to kill all 3 before the next set comes out. So even if you do a lot of damage on the dragon, the wasp won't come out if there's still one hanging out from the very first one. So keep that in mind. You know, I thought at first, you know, I could just sit there and kill them, or take the guy's legs down and then just UT all the wasps, but it didn't really work that way. But just how everything flowed together, no wasted movement. I didn't kill the other 3 wasps that are with UTs, but I still think I scored like 12,000 points higher in that fight versus Tomy. I had it written down somewhere, but and that just goes, you know, for speed. So speed overcomes the UTs. Again, look how much time you have in this. I am down again in points for the chapter because this is the chapter that he decided to, you know, make up the fights from the other chapters that he skipped. I think 4 and 6 or whatever the chapters were, you know, hands bar, and then maybe a couple fights in chapter 4 that he also the hands bar area or the hands bar chapter there coming out. So he made all that stuff up, but overall, you know, me going down in the pit or the dropping down and doing all those fights and getting the grail and everything, I had some really good scores for that. I was happy with that based on, like I said, having the level 2 dragon sword, not changing out to a helmet that would do, you know, less damage on the enemies. And it was fun really trying to figure everything out. Doing the archive challenge, again, it could have been better, but I was happy with that. You know, Tomy did it better than me. He's a much better player than I am, so being able to stick close, it's been a lot of fun, and I've enjoyed the challenge. Now, like I said, in chapter 8, I do miss out on an encounter, so the points that I gained on the wasps, you know, I lose in that. So it all kind of spreads out. In fact, I think I end up losing more points by missing out on that fight. So, but having said all that, save. You can save after almost every encounter. You know, there's a couple that you have to do back to back, and then until you get down, you know, downstairs, and then there's, or you know, down the elevator and all of that stuff. But at least you have the save point there. You have the Miramasa. You know, I spent a lot of money replacing Nimpo or stocking up, and you know, once I get to the next Ryu chapter, I'm upgrading, you know, everything that I possibly can. So it's actually, now that I'm in that chapter, it's hurting me having those higher level weapons. So I'm really going to lose more points there. But again, that's not what this run's about. It's just that karma side in me hating to miss all those points. But anyway, hope everybody enjoyed it. Any questions, comments, concerns, issues, whatever y'all want to bring up, let me know. I'll do my best to answer it. Y'all take care, and we'll see you in the next video.